6 months sound short until you realize you waste 6 months all the time. Most people do not need a new life. They need to stop leaking the one they already have. You can become almost unrecognizable in 180 days, but not by becoming a different person overnight. You do it by becoming slightly more honest, slightly more consistent, and slightly harder to distract every single week. By the end of this video, you will have a simple blueprint for changing your identity, skills, environment, and direction. Not a fantasy glow-up, not a fake motivational speech. A real beginner-friendly system you can actually start. And the weird part is this: the first change people notice, usually, is not your appearance. Because when someone starts keeping promises to themselves, they move differently. But before we talk about habits, skills, or money, we need to fix the thing controlling all of them. Your identity is the invisible script running your life. If the script says, "I am lazy," every hard task feels like acting out of character. If the script says, "I am learning to become disciplined," the same task feels like practice. That tiny difference matters because most beginners do not fail from one big disaster. They fail because their old identity quietly votes against them every day. So your first job is not to become perfect. Your first job is to collect proof that the new version of you is real. And 180 days is just enough time for those votes to become an election you finally win. But there is a trap here. Most people create a fantasy identity instead of a useful one. Then 2 days later, real life punches them with homework, work, tiredness, and bad sleep. So keep your identity boring enough to follow. Say, "I am the type of person who shows up for the next right step." That sentence is not flashy, but it survives bad days. It is built on the plan you still follow when your mood disappears. Here is the first pattern break. Imagine your life as a video game save file. Most people keep respawning in the same room, with the same items, wondering why nothing changes. But if the room is the same, the choices become the same. So the next part of the blueprint is your environment. Your environment is not background decoration. If your phone is beside your bed, scrolling becomes the default. If junk content is one tap away, focus has to fight a war every day. So do not rely on heroic willpower. Rely on boring design. Put your phone away during focus blocks. Make the good action visible and the bad action annoying. But simple changes compound because they happen every day without needing drama. Now, the next pillar is where most transformation videos get weird. They make it sound like you have to punish your body to prove you are serious. You do not. Your body is not an enemy to defeat. It is the battery your future depends on. So physical transformation should start with energy, not obsession. Move most days in a way you can recover from. Eat meals that make you feel steady instead of chaotic. Sleep like it affects your personality, because it does. No extreme diet. No revenge workouts. No trying to hate yourself into progress. The goal is to become someone who can trust their own energy, because when your energy improves, your decisions improve. And when confidence is built on action, it does not need to be loud. But here's the catch. Energy alone will not change your life if you spend it on random things. That brings us to the skill pillar. If you want more opportunities, you need to become useful in a way the world can understand. A skill is proof that your time can create value. For Casper's world, that could be video editing, storytelling, sales, design, coding, writing, thumbnails, or content strategy. But do not try to learn all of them at once. The beginner mistake is collecting skills like bookmarks. They watch tutorials, feel productive, and never ship anything real. Learning is not the same as building. For 180 days, pick one main skill and give it a real project. If you choose editing, edit videos. If you choose thumbnails, make ugly first versions until they become less ugly. The ugly stage is not failure. The people who pass you are usually not learning more secretly. They are getting feedback faster. They publish, review, adjust, and repeat while everyone else is still preparing. Ship something. Look at what happened. Ask what could improve. Fix one thing. Ship again. That loop is boring, but it is how skill becomes visible. And once your skill becomes visible, opportunity has something to grab onto. Now pause for a second and ask yourself something uncomfortable. If someone looked at your last 7 days, what would they think you are training for? Because your calendar tells the truth before your goals do. If your goal says creator, but your calendar says consumer, the calendar wins. It is meant to give you a clean starting point. The next pillar is your mind, and this is where the whole system either holds or collapses. Most people think mental strength means feeling confident all the time. Mental strength is keeping your standards when your emotions get loud. It is being tired and still doing the smaller version of the task. It is getting low views and still learning from the video instead of deleting your dream. It is messing up once without using that as permission to mess up for a week. This is where beginners accidentally ruin their progress. They miss one day and say, "I failed." Then they turn one missed day into 10. But the rule is simple. Never miss twice on purpose. One bad day is human. 2 bad days is a pattern asking to be interrupted. So when life gets messy, shrink the habit instead of quitting it. Can't write for an hour? Write one messy paragraph. The smaller version keeps the identity alive. And keeping the identity alive matters more than having a perfect streak. Now, let's talk about people. Some people make your standards feel normal. Other people make your old habits feel normal. And you do not need to hate anyone to create distance. You just need to notice what happens to you after you spend time with them. Do you feel clearer, braver, and more focused? Or do you feel drained, distracted, and pulled backward? That answer matters. Because in 180 days, your closest inputs will become your normal. So choose better influence on purpose. Follow people who make you want to build, not just compare. Spend more time around people who are learning, creating, training, or trying. Join communities where the standard is action, not complaining. But do not confuse joining a community with changing your life. Rooms help. Reps change you. So if all of this feels like a lot, simplify it into phases. So here is the 180-day blueprint in plain English. For the first 30 days, clean the floor before you build the house. Fix your sleep routine, reduce distractions, choose one skill, and start collecting tiny proof. Build a stable base. From day 31 to day 90, increase your reps. Move regularly. Practice your skill weekly, publish or share small projects, and review what works. This is where most people quit because the excitement fades. Good. That means the real work has finally started. From day 91 to day 150, raise your standards. Remove one bigger distraction, improve your circle, ask for feedback, and make your work less amateur. Not perfect, less amateur. From day 151 to day 180, make the new version visible. Share what you have built, update your routine, reflect on your proof, and decide what the next 180 days are for. But you will feel different in a way that is hard to fake. You will trust yourself more because you have evidence. You will be less controlled by your room, your phone, your mood, and other people's opinions. And you will finally understand that becoming unrecognizable is not about shocking everyone else. It is about no longer recognizing the version of you that kept breaking promises. So start small, but start like it matters. Clean one part of your environment today. Choose one skill today. Do one action that gives the new identity proof today. Then do it again tomorrow, even if it is smaller. That is the whole secret most people do not want to hear. You do not become unrecognizable from one dramatic decision. You become unrecognizable when your old excuses stop recognizing your new routine. 6 months will pass either way. The only question is whether it passes through you or whether you use it to become someone harder to ignore. Start with the next right step, then protect it like your future is hiding inside it.